Hey guys, we're going to be talking about fear today in our first devotional. And if you're one of my middle schoolers, you're going to be thinking, again, we've been talking about fear for so long. We talked about all at winter camp. And honestly, I think that was God just preparing us for this season. Because there's a lot of people who are looking at the world today and they're responding with a lot of fear. And the honest answer is, fear is not the answer. It's never the answer. I just want to share just a couple quick truths with you. Number one, fear is a liar. Fear is going to stop you in your tracks, going to tell you that you're powerless, going to tell you that you're stuck and that you have to only focus on your fear. But fear is a liar. The second truth is that the what ifs don't exist. So often when we are stuck in our own heads and our anxiety is just overwhelming us, we have these what ifs that are just running through our heads. What if this happens? What if that happens? And the honest answer is those what ifs haven't happened, so why are we wasting all of our time and energy on things that aren't even real? The what ifs don't exist. One of my favorite Bible verses is found in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. And it says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear or timidity, but of power and of love and of self-discipline." So let's kind of break that down a little bit. First of all, it says that fear does not come from God. Fear is not something that God gives you. Instead, it is something that takes our eyes off of God every single time. Second of all, it gives us 3 tools to really combat fear when it comes into our lives. That first one is power. And fear makes us feel powerless and that we have no control or that we have no say in what's going on. But instead, what God is saying here is that I am powerful and I reside in you. When we have the Holy Spirit in us, we have access to God's power, and God is always greater than any fear that we would have. The second thing that we find in this verse is that God gives us the tool of love. Now, when we're fearful, so often people get really selfish and they just focus on themselves and their own problems. And we can kind of even see that today. People are going out and they're clearing out stores, buying all the toilet paper. What about my problems? What about my needs? But what God gives us is His love, which is great and vast and huge. And what we can do is when we spend time with God and we fill up with His love, what we are to do then is to pour out that love on people around us. And what greater way to combat selfishness than to actually be selfless and to love others and to serve others and to help others. And the final tool that he talks about is self-discipline. And what's really talking about is that God has given us a good brain that can build healthy habits for us to combat against fear. And so for me, my personal challenge for this is that I want to build the self-discipline of asking for help. I don't like asking for help. And what I want to challenge you with this week is what healthy habit, what self-discipline do you need to grow to better combat your fear? My second challenge for you is to find a psalm that talks about fear, and then also God's response when we are in a place of fear, because the Psalms are chock full of them and they're so helpful when we are in a spot, when we feel stuck. I would love for you to take that Psalm and then put it in a comment below so that you can encourage others. And then finally, I want us to be in prayer for each other. I'd love for there to be prayer requests in the comments below as well. That's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.